What's up, guys? Back with another video. It has been a minute. Thank you for tuning back into Smeed for Speed. Sorry it's been a minute. Same as always, busy life, doing other stuff. But we are going to be pumping out some content real soon after this video. We're going to keep it a lot more consistent. Getting this race car finished. We are on the last legs of little things. So today we're just going to run a quick errand, and then we're going to get back and start working on the hatch here. We're just going down to AutoZone real quick. I ordered a driver headlight for the EG, and it's been there for like 2 weeks. I honestly forgot I ordered it, and they called me. So we're going to pick that up real quick, and then we'll get back to the car here, and we'll get started on what we're going to work on today, which is going to be swapping out the rear lower control arms for the ones that I put on 10 years ago to some newer ones that are PCI spherical bushing, fully solid control arms, 10 times better than the ones that are on there. And I'll show you what happened with the other ones and why I cannot use them, even though they are also brand new and they are from K-Sport, which K-Sport's not really a big company anymore. They kind of were bigger back in the day, and they've trailed off, and I don't think they're that good quality anymore. But anyways, let's get to it, guys. Let's roll. All right, guys, we are just gonna cruise down to AutoZone real quick. Got to do like a 30-point turn in my driveway to get out of here. Luckily, I have a big back lot to park all my shit in. But we'll go down to AutoZone real quick, pick up the headlight, and we'll be right back. But I wanted to give you guys a little update. I've been looking at first track days, checking dates and stuff, and I was just looking this morning. I think I'm gonna book it. If not, I'm gonna book the other one. But we got our options here. We've got the end of June or the end of July to go to a track day. There's many other ones, other tracks, but I want to go to a specific track, one of the two tracks for my first time out. Prefer to go to Button Willow the first time, just because that's where the car got corner balance. There's a shop there, and if I need anything adjusted on the fly, I can take it over to them and have them adjust it really quick. I am going to start learning. I kind of know what to do on adjustment of suspension and things like that. I'm not completely out of tune with that, but want to get that dialed and learn, and so then I can do it on my own at other places. The real technical stuff, you know, toe with the toe and the caster and the camber and all that stuff, I kind of want to keep that stuff you know, dialed where it should be. But the dampening setting and the ride height, I want to be able to adjust that and know what I'm doing. So all right, well, we're here at AutoZone. Let's grab this light real quick. All right, guys, we're over here with the hatch. We're about to put these rear lower control arms from PCI, get them on the car. We're gonna take off the old K-Sport ones and get them swapped out. So check this out. So here's the PCI ones. They have spherical bushings. Here's all the little inserts that you gotta do. There's 4 in this bag. That's for this, which is the shock mount point. And then you've got your other mounting points. You know, one goes on the wheel side, one goes on the inside of the car, and you've got 2 per side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Those just slip in there, and you'll see that as I do it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are gonna look super nice and way better, you know, stiffness and everything with the spherical bushings versus the rubber ones. Let's go back to the back of the hatch. Let's just show you this real quick. She's looking beautiful. The wings all mounted up. See the roll cage through there. She's all business. She's all business, boys. All right, let's go down under here and check this out. So right now I've got the K-Sport rear lower control arms, ASR subframe brace. I can't remember what size millimeter rear sway bar it is, but I believe it's from a Type R. Pretty good size. We got Kona yellows, full ground control coilovers, ground control top hats. This setup will just be for the initial maybe like a year or so that I track the car, see how it does, and then we'll upgrade from there. But yeah, as you can see, these are rubber bushings inside of here. So you've got your mount that goes to your wheel hub assembly, shock, sway bar, and then you've got the mount to the subframe. So get those changed out, see how it looks. Let's go. All right, guys, we're just about to start pulling this out. I pulled the wheels off. I just wanted to mention too that when I put this car together, I didn't have the original hardware that held the shock on, so this is not a legitimate bolt that should be there. I mean, it's a bolt from a Honda, but it's not for the shock tower. I mean, it works, but I didn't really care for that, and all these are super old, this one and this one. This one's okay, but I got new hardware for both sides that replace all 3 of those. So these are like the legit flathead, you know, pre-molded washer style ones on both ends. As you can see, there's no washers. I had to use a washer right there, so didn't really care for that. I know these are the grade they're supposed to be too. I'm not sure exactly what grade they are, but they're the automotive grade, and no washers are needed on these. So I'm gonna replace those as well, but we're gonna do driver's side first. Let's get to it. And everything's a 14. Boom, boom, boom. There's 4 of them. I got a nut on the back side of here, nut on the back side of the shock, and that's pre-threaded and that's pre-threaded. So it's just a bolt. This is a nut bolt combo. You know what? There is a nut on the back side of this, the subframe. I'm not sure if it's mounted in there permanently, but can't remember. But we're gonna get to it, hit a little time lapse, see what it looks like. All right, let's go. All right, guys, got the first one on. All that new hardware where I got, I actually only ended up using one of them, which was for the shock bolt. The other ones have, the threads are still looking clean on them. I would check them out. I'm just gonna keep the other ones as backups. But what I did notice is the sway bar bolt that I used, which is this guy here. This is a non-threaded all the way up, different pitch thread than the OEM bolts that go in there, which is not a big deal because it's just a nut on the back side. Problem is, just so when you get PCI, these are threaded, and these are 3 different positions for different sway bars that you can get for the EG, and that's a threaded hole. All those are threaded. So this new hardware I got obviously is way too long, as you can see. Like, here's a side view of it. Like, that's huge. It doesn't even need to be that long. It needs to be like half of that. So it is the right pitch thread though, which is good. So if we take this off and you stick this in there like that, this starts threading through. The problem is, obviously I'm gonna run out of threads. So run to the hardware store, get these bolts right here that I have, but shorter, and still be able to use this nut, which is a nice flat, you know, washer style nut, built-in washer on it to go on the back side. But what we need is the shorter bolt. So I'm gonna go run and get 2 of those, and we'll be back. And as you can see, basically this is the completed product right here. This is what it looks like. So as you can see, this is the completed product. Freaking cherry. I actually like the black better. It's more sleek. Looks pretty badass. So check that out. That's awesome. Looks so good. So it's just this bolt right here. My sway bar lines up right here, but you've got 3 other ones that you could potentially get depending on, you know, probably factory, aftermarket, whatever. But basically I need a bolt that's gonna be this thickness right here. So that goes like that. And the bolt's gonna go through and thread through the arm. So it needs to be, I'll measure that right there, that distance. I just want a little bit sticking out. Actually, I'm gonna have the nut on this side. Well, we'll see. We'll see what side I do. If it's perfectly long enough, then it'll just thread right into all the way through the arm, which will be stronger anyways. So yeah, either way, we're gonna go get some new bolts because I don't have ones that fit. So we'll get one for each side. But as you can see, look up in there. See that up in there? You had to put those guys on each side before you put them in. Those are the ones for the shocks right there. There's my new hardware for that, looking cherry. And then same up in here. You've got this one and this one in there. So yeah, freaking awesome, guys. This thing's gonna turn on rails. It is gonna be so nasty. Just love this whole rear end. Just looks so aggressive. But all right, let's run to the store, we'll be back. We'll throw that one on and we'll show you at the end what happened with the K-Sport ones and why I messed it up. But you don't have that problem when you do it this way with the PCIs. So a little note I'll put at the end, make sure you listen to that, because you're going to want to know that if you're putting on any aftermarket rear lower control arms that are rubber bushing. So all right, let's go. All right guys, we just got back from the hardware store, got the 2 bolts. I ended up going with these guys here. These are the other ones that I had that would have worked maybe, but also won't work. Same thread pitch. Actually, it was a different thread pitch. That's why it didn't work. That's right. Same length. It would have worked lengthwise, but different thread pitch to thread into your PCI. So I got one already done. We're just going to move over to the passenger side now, get that bad boy in, continue with the time lapse, and check out the finished product. I'm going to get them both in there, and I'll show you guys both the K-Sport lower control arms, how they're messed up, and what I did and what you should not do if you get that style, not exactly the K-Sport, but that style lower control arm with rubber bushings. So yeah, let's finish up, and we'll see the finished product. All right guys, we got it all done. Rear lower control arms are in. It is a pretty simple, straightforward install, not gonna lie. Let me just go over everything I did with you. So, as you can see, left side's in, looking real nice. Right side's in, looking real nice. Look at that. That's so nice, guys. So yeah. Not sure what I did a long time ago, but I don't know. That's got a nut and a bolt on it, on the shock, and that one's got just a bolt. It's got the welded on nut in the back of the Coney. Apparently that's how the Coneys came. I must have cut that one off for some, who freaking knows at this point, guys. Either way, it's gonna work. It's fine. It's completely good to go. Cherry. So whatever, nut and a bolt on that side, it's all good. So everything's tightened down, torqued down. They say, I think roughly these are around 40 foot-pounds for most of these, like to the subframe, on your trailing arm, your shock. I think the sway bar is probably a little bit less, but I just torqued everything pretty good. I didn't overdo it. I didn't actually torque it to the spec, but I heard a lot of guys it's not super necessary. I am gonna buy some marking paint, some bolt paint, so I can keep an eye on them. I did not use Loctite. I'm debating that. I might do it, but probably not for now. I think we're gonna be okay as long as I can mark it with the mark paint and then see if it's moving. But other than that, guys, that's the whole completed. The rear end is 100% officially done, you guys. Look at that. 100% done. Badass control arms, trailing arm, new bushings, new shocks, rear sway bar, rear ASR subframe brace. Every part is aftermarket except the trailing arm itself. So, all right, let's get everything cleaned up, and I'm gonna show you guys the K-Sport lower control arms on what not to do with that style. So, I'll show you right now. All right, guys. Well, let me just show you what happened to these K-Sport lower control arms here, and what you need to not do when you buy lower control arms that have rubber bushings, okay? So, first things first, the new ones that I put in have spherical solid bushings. Spherical meaning that there is like kind of like a like the inside of it is rounded metal and it can move with the car. Then those metal inserts go into that to for the nut or for the bolt to go through, okay? And the whole thing can slowly move and adjust as the car moves. But they are solid. There is no play in them, as in how a rubber bushing would be. So check these out. So there's the two on this side and the one on this side. So when I went to get my car corner balanced at Sevens Only Racing at the Button Willow Raceway track, there's a shop there called Sevens Only Racing. Shout out to them for corner balancing my car and aligning it. Put it up on the rack, and they noticed, like, hey, I mean, these look new, but they're broken. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought there was like a crack in it, right? And they're like, hey, we know exactly what happened. Your bushings are broken. So if you can see that, look at that right there. Broken. This one is not too bad. This one right here, broken. Okay. This one is not too bad, but it's still broken right there. And then this one's bad right here. This one's broken. So all inside there. And what happened was, I did it 10 years ago, way more noob, you know, than I am now. I'm a lot more experienced in working on cars. Still didn't know this, that with these style, with the rubber bushings, you need to put the car down on the ground to get pressure on everything before you torque them. And I didn't use a torque wrench back then. I was probably just like boom with the impact hammer. And he's like, that's what you did, is you hit it with an impact hammer, impact gun. And when it started to grab, and you're just with the freaking gun, it went boom, and it just snaps the freaking rubber bushing. So note to self, guys, do not use an impact gun on your lower control arms unless they are solid spherical bushings. I still wouldn't recommend doing it. Maybe a little tap just to get it going, which is what I did, and then I hand tightened it with my actual socket wrench. So note to self, don't do that. You'll just throw your freaking shit right down the trash for no reason, and you paid a couple $100 for it. So don't do that. And also, these K Sports are nowhere near as nice as the PCI ones, not even comparable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So don't do that. Go back here and give you guys one more look, see at what the completed product. PCI lower control arms, guys, on the EG Time Attack car. All right, guys, well, I really appreciate you guys watching. Another one in the books. Hopefully this is super helpful for people that are gonna put lower control arms regardless of what brand they are. I just happened to get PCI. I wanted the top of the line. You know, from now on, here on out, I'm only buying the top dog stuff. I want my stuff to last. It's not a street car. This is built for straight up purpose racing, and that's it. But yeah, appreciate everybody watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But until next time, guys, have a good one. Peace.